welcome to Better Together. I'm Deneen Ward, your co-host, and Sierra Ward is going to she's going to lead the discussion today. So welcome to Better Together. Today we have Najee Gaskin. I mean, he's kind of like my son too, but my nephew, I'm gonna say. Anyway, Najee Gen Z. They're gonna talk about social media and how they communicate on social media. And then of course we have my son Grant Ward. He's gonna tell his side of the story. So it's gonna be an exciting show. I hate that I'm not gonna really be there for most of the show, but I know that they're going to entertain you and inform you about social media from the Gen Z's perspective. So you guys have a great show tonight. I have so much confidence in you, and I will see you guys next week with me and Sierra talking about other communication topics. Have a good day. See you guys. Take it off, Sierra.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, you guys. So one of the big pieces of this
We can't hear you, Sierra.
Oh. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Oh, I can't hear you guys.
Okay.
Oh no.
Might be the earbuds or something.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I can't hear you guys.
Oh man.
What's going on?
Now, Jay, go out and come back in.
Okay.
Okay. So what we're going to be talking about today is, as Deneen said, communication from a intergenerational perspective. I'm a millennial. Grant is Gen Z, and Najee is kind of what is it called? Zillennial. Are you a good, Najee? Can you hear us?
We're good. I can hear you now.
All right,
Awesome.
yeah. So we're gonna be talking about communication from a intergenerational perspective. Najee, you're like a zillennial. You're kind of on the edge.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be able to provide 3 different perspectives. The social media has really taken over how we communicate with each other. It's probably the most common way to communicate now. People aren't necessarily on the phone calling each other as much and things like that. So the first question to really get us started is about when did you start using social media? I know for me, it was probably first like MySpace. I used it very limitedly when it was probably at the very end of MySpace. And what MySpace was all about was trying to find a space where you can show yourself the most authentically. You would create your own page, and you only really your like top friends even saw it. So it was pretty limited. So when was the first time you guys remember using social media?
I would say my first time was I had a MySpace myself for maybe a month, and then Facebook and then Facebook blew up. So I did MySpace first. I thought it was really cool. It was something different to where you could interact with your friends. Even though I wasn't allowed to be on those sites at the time, because it's, you're in the open world, you're talking to strangers, you don't know who you're going to lure or, not lure, but who's going to lure you. And I just think that I believe social media is a great way to connect with people, to really get other perspectives, and also grow your friend group, because you never know who you might meet while you're just online. I've met a couple friends just from being on Facebook, or just someone you're like, oh man, like they seem cool, they have the same interests, what are they doing, let me see if I can reach out to them. So I thought that was the best thing about social media, but there's also a lot of negatives too. But Grant, when did you start?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, Instagram was probably the first like social media platform that I used. For me, it was just fun to like just take pictures, post it. People comment here and there and stuff like that. Everyone did like the hashtags and stuff like that. Yeah. So Instagram for sure. And then also Vine. Vine was like very big back in the day. It was amazing seeing the videos, the short form content as well. So those are the 2 things, 2 platforms I would say I started with. But it's crazy how much all of those apps, like especially Instagram, it's changed so much since it first came out. It's not just pictures. it's a lot more. But I would definitely say Instagram.
I forgot about Vine.
Yeah,
I'm glad you brought that up because justice for
fun.
Vine. We should have let it cook a little longer than we did.
Right.
I remember seeing little ads on Vine it was TikTok though, like ads for TikTok
Oh,
on Vine. And I was just like, man, that's not going to blow up. It's just trying to make like another Vine. It's not as good. But as people soon to find out, like more than 6 second videos are way better than,
Yeah.
way better than 6 second videos. So
Yeah.
that's funny. I mean, you brought this up, Grant, how like Instagram has changed over time. I know when Instagram first came out, like you said, it was just a photo. It was supposed to be like a raw screenshot of like your everyday life. A lot of people posting just their breakfast in the morning, no filters, no just giving your like friends like a screenshot of your life. Now it's about like monetization, about selling things. It's like QVC for young people, really. So what apps are you using right now? Like, what are your main social media apps?
I would say TikTok. I'm mainly on TikTok for sure. Like TikTok, like I love it because the For You page, like it always shows,
Mhm.
you know, what I like, sports, mainly sports, entertainment, you know, all the clips from shows and stuff like that. And I don't know, it's just convenient for me. I hop on after a long day or something like that, check out what I want to see, send it to my friends just to see, you know, if they like my For You page or the stuff that I send to them. I would say TikTok for sure. And then I use Twitter. A lot of people are on Instagram, but I use Twitter. It's called X now, which is, I don't know why they changed it to X, but
Yeah.
Twitter, I would say I like it because it shows the different angles to different stories. Like you'll hear something about like you'll see a video of a news story, but then like on Twitter they have like the different angles. You know, people will post the different
Yeah.
angles of that story, or like it's like the nit and gritty, like kind of like the explicit version of a lot of stuff that drops. You know what I mean? So it's like it's not as mainstream, I would say, as TikTok and Instagram. But yeah, those are the two that I use for sure right now.
The what's it called? Yeah, the different perspectives of the same event is really interesting to me because TikTok is the same way. Like for instance, like Akon and Neo are on tour right now, and I've
Yeah.
seen like 5 different angles of Akon falling into the crowd when he's in
the
an
ball.
for some reason. So I've seen like 5 different perspectives. So for news events, it's definitely interesting. You'll see from like the police perspective. You'll see some bystander's perspective. You'll see the person who was running's perspective. It's like really, it's really something. So Najee, what apps are you on right now? What do you?
Shoot, the real question is, what am I not on?
Okay, yeah. What are you
Yeah.
not on?
So I would say Facebook just to keep up with the family, really.
Mhm.
Instagram more for friends. Just really got into TikTok. I would say maybe like 4 or 5 months ago. I wasn't really big. I was really against TikTok, but then Instagram started doing reels itself, and then it just kind of became kind of the culture of like, oh, short form videos and stuff like that. Um, man, I'm on a lot. YouTube,
Yeah.
everything. I love it all. So I would say Instagram mostly though.
Mhm.
Just to check up on my friends, see what they're doing, and then yeah, that's basically what I would say is my most
Okay.
lot of screen time, I would say.
Yeah, it's same. I'm an avid TikToker. Like I'm aggressively on TikTok constantly. It's my number one. That and then maybe YouTube. I'm barely on Instagram. I used to be heavily on it, but one thing about Instagram, I feel like it's way more or at least seemingly like performative. Like there's a lot more pressure on Instagram to me to have like the
Yeah.
perfect image. Whereas on TikTok, you're kind of scrolling and you just like see random stuff people post, so it's a little less pressure. What's it called? Facebook is one of those things that really died off to me. I never am on Facebook. It logs me out all the time because of how little I'm on it. But like you said, I need it for family because a lot of Gen X, boomer generation, they still are like ride or die for Facebook. So I kind of need it for like your grandma's birthday photos, like, oh, someone's niece or nephew. And then I go through there all the time. And I'm like, sometimes I'm like, who are these people? You see a lot of people from high school. So Grant, are you ever on Facebook?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook here or there, especially to check like the family photos and stuff like that. Or, obviously when I'm on posts about the podcast, the podcast is posted on there. So I share those posts, but not so much as like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which platform do you use to communicate with people regularly? Or do you use social media to communicate with people regularly? Or is it strictly text still or phone calls?
Mine's mostly text. I mean, I do some form of like reaching out. Depends on, if I see what they're doing, like say they're on vacation and I'll be like, oh man, that's super sick. That you're down there in like the Dominican Republic, or, they're at a baseball game. I'd be like, man, how did this person do? Or, it just depends on what's going on. But mostly I would say text, because I don't know. It's kind of, if you don't know the person, it's almost kind of weird that you're kind of just hitting them up through socials. It is very strange. So I would say that's like the biggest thing is more text than socials.
Yeah, I'm the same way with Najee, mostly text. If I do reach out, I do use LinkedIn a lot for like professional stuff. I may reach out for maybe like a job opportunity, or I see something about a company that I'll reach out to somebody about. But for the most part, like it's really, through text or calling and stuff like that. But it is crazy though, like Instagram, like a lot of people reach out to random people all the time now.
Mm-hmm.
Some people aren't doing that, but a lot of people are. I mean, you can make an argument that Instagram might be one of the biggest like dating apps like nowadays. If you really think about it, like people are DMing people from across the world in their city. Like, back in the day, it was like you just talked to people who was, you met at the store, or, in your town you knew about at work. But like now it's like, people are sending a DM to a girl or a guy or whatever in Florida and they live in Arizona or something like that, So I think that's very interesting.
Mm-hmm. So have you reached out to people? Have you used it as a dating app? Have you used Instagram?
Me personally, yes,
Yeah.
I have.
Okay.
That's how I met my girl. I met my girl on Instagram.
Okay. Najee,
yeah.
have you done that?
First experience, I see Grant, I see you. Yeah. This man's plugging his own what's it called? He's plugging his own methods. I get it.
Yeah. Oh goodness. He'll be back. But what I thought was interesting is I message people predominantly on Instagram. I'm always DMing people, like best friends from like years ago, from college.
Cutting me out. Sorry, guys.
Oh yeah, no problem.
All right.
Wait, I barely text anyone. I'm predominantly DMing people. I don't know what that's about. To me, I'm only texting someone if it's like something very serious, or if there's like a long form video that I can't necessarily share on Instagram or something like that. But I'm always like, I'm a person who DMs people before I text. So I find it interesting how both of you are still texting. I thought it would have been like, okay, I'm using DMs more so, and then you guys were using it even more. But it seems like the opposite is happening. But what's it?
Just different, man. I'm telling you. We need to get back to where socials is not like the main form of meeting people. You could see a lot of you go out to gatherings and like different networking events, and you'll see that a lot of people are like kind of almost getting socially awkward. The younger generation, that it's super socially awkward. They can't hold a conversation. They can't think on the spot to just tell them how they feel at that specific moment. They have to almost hide behind the screen to come up with their thoughts. They won't even just go quick like, oh, hey, like, hey, what's up? Like they're overthinking it, overanalyzing it. And I honestly think that it's hurting us in, moving forward. And then honestly, what is true in social media, what's true in the media, we can't really tell at this point. It's it's getting to the point where it's kind of getting insane, and it makes you just not believe in anything. that's happened previous, or that's going to happen in the future, or what's happening now. So
yeah, I think COVID had a big impact on that. You know, people were inside, they were mainly just, you know, watching the shows, you know, being in you know, just staying to themselves, you know what I mean? So it's like once they went back outside, especially, you know, the younger people, my generation, like it was kind of like, you know, I'm used to remote work or remote classes, you know, Zoom classes, which, you know, I did not like Zoom classes at all, but like that's what I had to do to continue with school. So I think COVID had a big impact on that. And then also like social media, like it's very superficial and like you judge a book by its cover. You know, a lot of people, they'll look at their profile and be like, oh, you know, this guy's rich, you know, he's posting a picture about with his car and stuff like that. And then you might meet him and then that's not the case at all. You know what I mean? Or, you know what I'm saying?
that's a lot of it.
People get catfished, you know, all the time. So you're right. Like we do need to, you know, transition towards more of the face-to-face greetings and, you know, actually networking people when you go out to networking events and stuff like that.
Yeah. So how do we go about fixing these issues that have stemmed from people primarily communicating online? You know what I mean? How do we fix that?
My opinion, I mean, shoot, Terminator 3, Terminator 2, you know, Skynet needs to go down, you know, that's really what has to happen. It's almost to the point where just technology is starting to run our lives. Anything we do, it has to be technology. I mean, I assume in another 100 years, I don't want to say AI is going to be running everything, or, you know, we're going to be moving around like in Wall-E. If you've seen Wall-E, like people are just sitting in little seats and moving around, getting fat. But that's basically what the consumer is wanting is how can I make as much money as possible without doing the littlest amount of work.
Yes.
So, and social media does that for you. Well, technology does that for you.
Yeah.
It makes those connections fast, super fast. And, you know, it's not something that I would say is the best thing for the future.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about, like, I think about marketing and how, like, you know, there's no more newspapers. I mean, yeah, they still do newspapers, but for the most part, it's digital marketing, it's ads, it's, you know, Salesforce or CRM tools where it's just online. You know what I'm saying? Like all those automation stuff. So it's like there's money to be made online. They monetize it. So it's tough. I don't know how we can fix it. Like the best thing you could tell people is just to, like, be more confident and, you know, just go out, meet people, go to events, you know, just try it. Like, I know some people, they see videos. I think of like seeing videos of guys, right? They approach girls and then the girls just straight like, get out of here, get out of my face or something like that. And then the guys will see that and they'll be like, oh my God, you know, I'm never approaching a girl after that and stuff like that. You know, they see those echo chambers online and then they keep seeing all that stuff. And it's like, dude, like, you guys just need to stop focusing on the social media, the videos, you know, all of that stuff is entertainment, engagement. Like, just go out, you know, focus on just trying to meet people and make things authentic, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Touch some grass, they say.
Right.
That's what they say. That's what they say.
The real question is, like, how do you use social media without letting it take over your life? I mean, it's designed to take over your life. I mean, it's gamified. That's really the whole point of it. But how do you use it without letting it take over your life? I mean, one thing I've tried to do was you can limit your, like, in the screen time section of your phone, you can be like, okay, I'm only going to allow TikTok to work for a certain amount of hours. Try to limit your time with specific apps. But it doesn't really work because you're so addicted and you're so used to it. You just be like, oh, another hour, another hour, another hour. So things like that don't really work. Something that I think about is, like you said, like just a real focus on building a community in person.
Right.
And when you have those communities, you're relying less on getting like stimuli from your phone or from social media. So that's something I think about. Is there anything you guys do specifically?
No, I'm not gonna lie. I got to be better at it. To be honest, I need to be better at staying off my phone. I just got to be better. I got to be
Yeah.
better. You know, it's hard. And this is another thing too, when it comes to social media, like you guys say, people have like the nice cars and you'll see that it almost puts into perspective, like you almost see that as like, why am I not doing that in my life? Yes, there's a good and a bad, right? There's a good and a
Yeah.
bad. Be like, you can make you work even harder to be like, okay, I gotta go get it. I gotta go get it. I can do this. I gotta go get it. But it also, it puts in the back of your head, it gives you that doubt of saying like, man, this guy's 23. This guy's has $5 million, driving around nice cars, whatever, but he's successful. How is he successful at this age? I mean, there's kids that are 8 years old, you know, on YouTube making toy videos and they're making millions of dollars, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And you're just like, man, why am I not there? Why am I, you know, it's always like, why? And it puts that doubt in your head and really makes you think, man, am I at in life where I'm supposed to be? But
Mhm.
we all know we're right where we need to be when it comes to, you know, living this earth. We only have the one life, right? But
Yeah.
I just want to live it I want to live this thing to the fullest. But you know, I don't want to work, you know, sometimes, man. I'm tired. I'm
Well, I
tired,
mean,
man.
something to consider when you see people like everyone who's like making millions of dollars doing anything. That's the 1%, less than
Yeah.
1%. There are millions, hundreds of thousands of people who are posting a toy video and they make zero money, $0.
Yeah.
So it's important to not hyper fixate on like that one person who like lightning in a bottle got millions of dollars when there's tons of people who didn't. And also the kids doing the toy videos, they didn't work hard.
No.
So,
Parents are just buying the toys and they're doing a review. Yep.
it's just luck.
Right.
Yeah, it's luck. Some of this is just luck, but there is a component where it's like, okay, you may see someone like really focusing on their one hobby and being able to monetize that, which is always great. I mean, and then also to some extent, it could cut out the middleman. Like if you're a musician, you can just straight post your stuff online and it can go viral or it could not. And then you can get income from that opposed to having to go through a record label. So there is like there is an avenue for like, you know, freedom of being able to just like monetize your own thing. But it feels like there's so many other people doing that exact same thing that it makes you feel small sometimes. That's what I feel like.
Yeah, Najee, I think you brought up a good point about like comparison and how you see people doing well online or you see them portraying a certain lifestyle and you're all like, dang, like, why am I not there? Where, you know, what's going on with my life? And what a lot of people need to realize is that like, if you truly want to attain like a lot of wealth, a lot of that takes time. You know what I mean? Like really attaining a lot of wealth or success in a certain field, like most of the time it's going to take a lot of time. And, you know, people see the social media stuff and it kind of like feeds into their dopamine, you know, like they, you know, social media is really just dopamine. You see all these big things, big cars, luxury, and it's like, dang, like I need to get this quick. I need to get this now. You know what I'm saying? But it's like a lot of this stuff, you know, it just takes time. So that's a dark side of social media, you know, like you said, the comparison.
And it could not be real. Like we said,
True,
like,
it could be fake.
Like, remember that thing where Bow Wow was like just doing photo shoots on private jets, pretending like he was chartering private jets? There's so many people doing those things. People were pretending to be at Coachella this last couple of weeks. You're just like, so it's like you can't really, and that comes back to another thing. It's like we have to touch some grass, realize that everything online is not true.
Yeah. But we can see it with television too. Like if back on MTV, back in the day when they used to come check out my crib, like this my crib. A lot of those houses, they weren't even theirs. They were just like, hey, you're famous right now. We're go rent out this mansion. Hey, this is where I live for the day. You know?
Yes.
And
That's true.
I feel like that's almost where it kind of started. I pimp my rides, all that stuff, you know, but the biggest one is the crib, or I forgot what it was called, but yeah.
I used to love Cribs. Grant,
Cribs, that's what it is. Cribs, yeah.
Yeah. Did you watch that show, Grant?
Nah.
Oh, you missed out.
Yeah.
You missed out.
Past his prime. Yeah. Way past his prime.
Never tuned in.
Okay, so when we're talking about like what's a good way to use social media to communicate? Is it just because the ease, it's a good place to communicate? Like you easily have access to people, you can send them a quick DM, and then you can use it to kind of be like, hey, like I haven't spoken to you for a while, let's hop on a call. Is that the best way to use it, really, you think?
It could be to me, it's like almost like showcasing yourself. Your
Mm-hmm.
page will showcase who you are and if they want to do business with you. Just like how LinkedIn is. LinkedIn is a credible way to meet new business people, business friends, get
Yeah.
new job opportunities. I would say it's almost the same with Instagram in the dating world. So your profile is what you have to offer.
Yeah.
So that's why you'll see a lot of these people, they have the cars, they have all this stuff. You'll see their followers are up,
Mm-hmm.
but they cannot have it. And then you can see someone who is a millionaire and they just have a basic, Instagram account, because that's not what they're focused on.
Yeah.
They're more focused on how can I, strive to go further. Social media is not where I go to, make my money, or even if it is, you gotta, there's a push and pull. There's a push and pull with Instagram for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think as long as you're like respectful and you have a type of etiquette when you're reaching out to people, like some people's DMs are like crazy. Like the stuff that people send to them, it's like, dude, really? Like, why are you sending this? What is that language? Like, why do you think somebody's going to respond to you in that way? You know what I mean? So like, if you're reaching out to somebody because they have a cooking business and you see something that, maybe they can cater for you or something like that, as long as, there's substance to it, you're respectful, then, send them a DM, you know what I mean? But as long as you're not creepy, as long as you're not, some of these guys are creepy, man. It's wild.
Oh, don't I know?
Yeah. Like,
now, so from what I'm hearing, it's like you guys are really focused on like the business aspect of social media, which is completely foreign to me. Like I have no concept of it. I don't really understand it. I know it's to be true, but I don't understand it. Do you guys think that that's like, is that primarily what you see social media as now, is more of just like a business marketing yourself opportunity opposed to a like community building communication tool?
Yeah, I would see it more as business and entertainment.
Okay.
Entertainment now, I mean, just with the reels alone, TikTok, everything, it just depends on what platform you use. TikTok, you're not there for, business. You could be, it just really depends. Most of TikTok is not business related. And I mean, like over there in China, it's more, what would you say, textbooks, more informational things rather than entertainment. Things that's going to, provide nutrients to the brain. With the US one, I mean, you can see the craziest things and you're going to see them instantly. Something happens right away. You're seeing it on TikTok right away. It's almost the new news, It
is. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if you're smart, you would utilize social media to monetize. You know what I mean? Like it's your personal brand. You could use it to market your personal brand. There's a lot of money to made online. There's people making thousands of dollars a month online in their specific niche. So for me, I look at it as like, it's purposeful, being purposeful with it, like not just posting random pictures and stuff like that. Obviously you can, but like if you're smart, you could try to figure out a way to monetize your social media and then have it, as a purpose in your life and then go from there versus just, randomly reaching out to people or like, just, posting a picture of your dog. Like if you're smart, try to monetize your social media.
Okay. Well, that makes sense to where you guys said earlier that you're more texting your friends if you view the social media as more of just like a personal brand about your like presentation to the world. Maybe a monetization effort could occur. That's interesting. The something I think about from that is like, is there a lot of pressure? Is that where that pressure comes from on social media, where it's like whenever I'm about to post something on Instagram, I feel like there's this immense pressure. I'm like, who's gonna see this? What are people gonna think? Is it from that like idea that like I'm adding to my personal brand opposed to just like, dropping some photos and then your friend sees it and they're like, funny emoji. Like, is that where that's pressure is coming from?
I think so. I believe so.
Yeah.
I'm always worried about like, is this picture the right one?
Yeah.
Is this the right picture that I can do? It is very, very like stressful. You take 1,000 pictures and you can only really put up 10,
Right.
So it's very stressful.
Yeah, and it's wild because on Instagram, like the way the algorithm is, like you could have like thousands of followers, but like maybe only like 200 people see it or like it, or like maybe like 4 people comment. So it's kind of like, people post their pictures and they see they have thousands of followers and they're like, dang, I only got 100 likes. Like, what is this? So that adds on to it as well.
And then they'll delete it.
Yes,
then they'll delete the post.
And then that's why I like TikTok better, because you could have a low amount of following and like you can go viral. You know what I'm saying? If you have the right caption, you have the right niche, hashtags, that's why the algorithm's better. But yeah, I mean, that's it as well. Just the way the algorithm aids into that too.
Yeah, that's true. But with the whole and you saw the thing where they updated the feature where other people can't see the likes you're getting. And I think that was like an effort to make people less stressed about posting, because then people wouldn't be just like, oh, they posted this, they have 1,000 followers, they only got 10 likes. I'm like, I don't necessarily know if that had the effect it wanted to have, because it doesn't, because you still see the likes. Yeah. You still see, so it's less like people can like maybe like talk trash about you to others, and more so it's like it's still impacting you internally. So I don't know if that's something that can be fixed from a social media platform that has likes and shares and follows. I mean, something about social media where it can get a little dicey is when you can see people sharing your posts and you start wondering, oh, why did someone share that post? Who did they send it to? They could put you in a group chat and people are talking trash. I've seen things where people are like, where people accidentally share someone's post back to them and then put a comment that's like negative, and they're like, hey, this, you're sending it back to me. they're like, oh, my bad. So people are definitely doing that. So there's definitely some shady things that can be going on. Yeah, people are always trying to present the best version of themselves. And I think that's why there's like a shift towards like people wanting authenticity. I think people are like starved for like a raw, real version of something opposed to the glossy, prepared visual that we're so used to. I think that's also why like a lot of like Gen Alpha is trying to go back to like physical media, trying to they want headphones with cords on them. They want to, that stuff like that, trying to like peel back. Yep. See, that's 100%. You can honestly kind of tell like the age someone is based upon the headphones they're wearing, which I find funny. Like millennials like me, we all have the Bluetooth AirPods. We all do. And then you get younger and younger, and then they have the big ones that look like they're from the 80s, but they're they're Bluetooth. Then you have the younger they get, they have the ones with the
cords.
Cord. So stuff like that is very interesting. But I think there is an opportunity here when we're talking about like, being like lost in this whole social media realm to communicate, and that's where your friends are, they're online, is like if you go out to people and you start just approaching, I think people are like, they're like, oh wow, someone came up and was like cool and said something to me, because people are doing it less and less. So I think there's an opportunity. I mean, I don't know if people are doing that, but I think
an easier way to like kind of bring that on is like, if you're interested in sports, right, go to a sporting event, you know what I mean? And maybe you can connect with people there. You can just talk about sports, talk about your team. You know what I mean? Like finding things that you're interested in, and maybe going to like public events or stuff involving people. And then you can obviously, it's easy, to bridge that connection with people like that. I think that's an easy way to go about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The something that I've been thinking about is the whole like although we're on social media, a lot of us are like posting to provide like the glossy best version of ourselves, especially on Instagram. Like there's opportunity to, kind of give people a real version of you, kind of how social media used to be, and that's with like close friends. A lot of people you'll wonder, you'll end up in someone's close friends stories out of nowhere, and you're like, I don't even know this person. But those are always the more like uncut versions, even stories. I'd say, I think just because they're fast, they disappear within 24 hours, is where people are trying to be more authentic. I mean, do you feel like that's the case?
100%. Because when those stories go away, just like you said. But when you put that post on that page, I mean, it's there. It's there until you archive it. So I feel like people are more deliberate with the posts rather than when they're doing their stories. When they're just doing their stories, they're just taking a pic. Hey, I'm here. I'm at this, or this is what I'm doing right now. But it's more deliberate when you're actually putting out a post like, okay, it almost like it made the cut to be put on the Instagram,
Yes.
So that's what I believe.
What's it called?
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, okay. Yeah, something I'm also interested in is like the advent of the group chat. Like I have a lot of friends where it's just like a couple of us. We have a group chat, whether it's on like Instagram or it's within text. Like, do you guys use group chats a lot? Are those like popular? Like, do you guys have like a cool name? You know what I mean? Is it about a certain topic? Like, how are those broken down?
Me and Grant got one for the game. He's like, see if everyone's on, be like, hey, you guys getting on tonight?
Okay.
Oh, okay. No, then all right, we'll see you the next time. But the group chats, I think, are key to just keep everyone involved, who you want involved,
Yeah.
I just believe it's the easiest way, when they have time, okay, they'll see it, it's not a direct, like you're hitting every single person of like, hey, are you going to be on tonight, or what you doing? Like, what's going on? You almost have like, if a group is in the group message and you just say like, hey, I'm online, then everyone's like, oh, I'm on. Or if you don't hear from them, then they're like, oh, you just assume they aren't online. They're not, they're doing something. So that's what I see when we're talking about group chats and stuff like that, just with me and Grant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love group chats, as long as they're not too big. Like I hate when the group chat gets way too big and then there's like so many messages being flooded and stuff like that.
What's too big? What's the number? How many people before it's out of control?
I mean, 20 plus. I mean, for me, I like a group chat that's like 5, at the most 5, 6, maybe at the most or something like that. Once it gets to like 20 plus, it's like, okay, like I don't know. I like the exclusivity of it. You know what I mean? Because you have the people who you want to talk to. There's a purpose for it, whether, you're in a fantasy league or, a gaming, figuring out if your friends want a game and stuff like that. Like, that's what I like about the group chats. I think more people need to use group chats for sure, especially with their close friends.
Yeah. And the question is like, how do you, who determines who's in a group chat? I'm always interested in how those spring up. Or it's like, once there's a group chat established, is it rude to bring up a group chat to someone who's not in it? Like stuff like that is very
yes.
He's like, yeah,
fast. Like they're like, oh yeah, I sent it. I sent it to everyone, and then that person's like, what? I didn't get it, and it's like, oh, like don't bring up like.
That's when you got to be aware of your surroundings. You got to be aware who you're talking to. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know who really usually with the group chat, like one person, maybe one or two people really think about it. They're all like, okay, we do this activity a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? We go golfing all the time. So like, why not just create a group chat, with my golf friends, and likelihood they're all going to join it because we all like golf. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a 1 or 2 person thing. And then kind of, people join in at that point, I would say.
And Something you mentioned earlier was like, and I've seen this from you, Grant. You're like on the video game, right? Are you talking to people through the video game, or are you talking to them on your phone while you're playing the video game? What's going on?
Nah, it's through the system. Like you have like a mic, you plug it into your controller, and it's like through the PlayStation. Like you can create like a party. It's called a party, and then you invite your friends who you have added on PlayStation. They have it for like Xbox and other stuff too. But like, yeah, so it's a party. Yeah.
So is that also social media? Are you meeting people on the video game, or is it? I mean, you probably
you can.
Yeah, you definitely can.
I mean, there's times me and Grant are playing and we arguing with a dude over, he could be in India, Korea. We don't know where he's at, but he's on the server. So we're talking to him, he could be cool. It could be not. I mean, it is cool. But with that, it's different. It's in order for us to like really get them on board and bring them into the party and add them as a friend, they have to be good at the game. Like we won't just pick up anyone and be like, so there's also that aspect of if you're trying to meet friends online and you got to kind of be good at what the game is or what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's funny. I mean, so like what percentage of time would you say that you guys are communicating just like texting about something random that happens versus coming together to talk about like an activity you're doing?
Activity never, I would say activity never, tell me, what do you mean by activity?
Like I'm saying like, oh, okay, we're going to play basketball together. And then you're talking about, coordinating to do basketball versus just like, I saw a squirrel running around. Hey, this is funny. Or like, what's going on? Like, what is causing you guys to communicate with each other? Because I know women, a lot of it is just like random things going on, a situation that happened, and then we're going to like reach out to a friend to tell them about it. We have a story. Or like, we're going to, and we're not talking about setting up an event. We're like, do you want to go to drinks to discuss the story that I have to tell you about what's going on? So it's just like trying to consider that.
To me, when we're talking about an activity, so like, would it be just like me and Grant saying like, when you getting on the game, like things like that? That's just like a one time. I do that like Grant will say like, hey, you online tonight? Like that's it. It's a one time 20 seconds. That's it. Okay. We're never really coordinating it, but until like later on, I would say later on in the day, it'd be like, hey, you online tonight? And I'll just say like yes or no, like yeah, no. If I say yes, and then it'll get to that time, and then I'll text and be like, hey, you on? And he'd be like, yep. And I'll be like, all right, cool, let's go play the game. So it's not like us really like I wouldn't say coordinating it to like the depths of like, hey, we're going to be doing this or we're doing that. But just normal text, I would honestly like 10, 15 minutes. And I don't know if like Grant is like, if something's up or like he's up doing something, then I'll be like, hey, it's all good. Don't worry about it. I understand. We all live in the life. We're just trying to have a great one.
You're doing a notification. You're sending a notification.
Basically.
That's
basically.
Okay, that makes another like big communication topic, especially when it comes to social media, is like memes, emojis, slang, things like that. And I mean, slang has always existed, but I think the difference with social media is like the visual nature, and also like the to me it's interesting how slang is derived from like a meme. Like all of a sudden this image means this, stuff like that. Also with like emojis, like there's generational differences. Like like a smiling emoji is not friendly to like
depending on which one you use.
Depending on which one you use. Like if I see like a smiling emoji is like the big smile, I'm like, oh, that's under duress. Like you're in fear. So emojis mean different things to different people. Do you feel like memes, you're like, are you using memes to portray information more than words sometimes? You know what I mean? Do you go straight to like, you're just like, okay, this meme is perfect. That sums up everything I was thinking, opposed to drawing out a sentence about what you were thinking?
I kind of stopped doing that quite a while ago, trying
Okay.
to, yeah, because I remember like memes were huge. You remember?
Yes.
Yeah, I know you remember. Memes were like everything was a meme, everything. But I feel like more it's now video type esque. I wouldn't even say those are memes though, you know?
Mhm.
I don't
That's
know.
the question. What is a meme? What is a meme?
What is
Like,
a meme? Yeah. What is a meme these days? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't send memes like that. Maybe sometimes, you know what I mean? If my friend sends me like some like video that's like crazy, and then I like send a meme, and then it's like, you know, just a funny meme or like a crazy face meme or something like that. But for the
yeah.
most part, like I'm not really sending memes like that. I mean, they're funny to see on Twitter. Like I see those memes all the time of like, you know, LeBron, LeGoat, you know, stuff like that. Funny, but like for the most part, I'm not really, sending them like that.
Okay, so how are you communicating beyond just words, or is it just words and then emojis? You know what I mean? Is that straight up
Yeah,
it?
that's the
Mhm.
combo. Yep.
Basically.
Yeah.
Okay. What are your go-to emojis? What are your go-tos?
The skull emoji. That's the skull emoji to me
Yeah.
is like, oh, I'm dead. You know,
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
weak. I'm weak. What other one I be using? Shoot. Mostly, I'm not gonna lie. Mine is the skull one. I use that so much.
Oh
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
like my go-to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I be using the laughing face. The one where it's like this, where he's like, man, it is what it is. That was funny. And they have this one too. It's like the finger cross one. I be using that one a lot too. It's like, I got you, bro, or something like that.
The finger cross one?
Yeah,
Is
or
that
like,
supposed to
yeah,
be-
it's like,
Oh,
yeah,
it's like a promise?
yeah, like
Oh,
a
that's-
this. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, my favorite one is, I love using an emoji that makes zero sense. Like, I love using one that makes literally no sense and putting it in just to confuse people. Like one that's like a sign, like it's like I say something funny, and I use like the emoji that looks like they're sighing or they're like sad, and they're like, wait, what? So I'm just like a chaos agent when it comes to emojis. Or like there's a killer whale emoji. I'm just gonna send it just because. Or I like sending something to add like emphasis. Something I'm also interested in is, you know how when you text and you can just like put an emoji to like, you know, on the actual message itself. What does the double exclamation point mean? Like, why are people, what is that? When people use that, what do they mean?
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like, you know, when you can there's like messages on iMessage, and you can just like click on it. You can double tap it.
Oh, you can emphasize.
Yes, but you can also choose the option that's a double exclamation point.
Yeah.
What does the double exclamation point mean when people are sending it to you? Because I've seen people do that to things that don't make sense. I'm like, why would you? Because to me, it's just like it's like, yay! It's like, oh, whoa. But people are using it as kind of a like, It's I that's what I was wondering if you guys knew.
Chaos agent.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I would use that to be like, hey, read this message. You know, that's when I would use it. Like, hey, read this. You missed this. Read this.
Or on your own message.
On my own message?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yes. Or like it just depends. It just depends. Like I see like the question mark, like I'll be like, man, like what are you talking about? So I like do the question mark one. But the emphasis one, I'll be like, hey, like read my message. Like, did you read this? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's interesting how like if you don't use emojis, sometimes people think you're being dry. Like, you know what I mean? They're all like, okay, well, why is this? You know, why aren't you, you know, they're like, why are you being so dry just because you don't use an emoji?
Yes.
People take that as that, like, you're not interested in the conversation, which that's not the case. You know, sometimes you're just like, this is my point or whatever. But I think it's interesting. People are like, why are you being so dry?
Okay. Laura
100%.
says urgent. That makes sense. Yeah.
Urgent.
People are like, oh, this is urgent. So yeah, that one I've seen used in so many different ways, and I'm confused pretty much every time. Every time I see it, I don't know what's going on. But I like, and maybe this is the like, because I'm older than you. I use, you know how you can like search for a GIF and like add that to like your social media? I use that all the time.
You're a meme girl. You're a meme girl.
I literally do it all the time. I used to do it at work, but to the point about people thinking you're dry if you don't use emojis. That is so true. And even like was it punctuation? People are very sensitive about punctuation. I'm a person, I text and I put periods at the end of my sentences. And people think I'm like trying to hunt them down. Like they think I'm angry, upset. I'm like, good morning, period. How are you doing? Period. Like people do not like that. So people are very sensitive. Even at work, I've seen this. I don't know if you've seen this where like people will be like, thanks so much, exclamation point. Because they want to make sure you think, oh, everything's great, everything's friendly. If you say thanks so much, period, people think, oh wow, they just didn't care. Like, and I'm just like, oh, this is just regular punctuation. I'm not angry or anything.
I always do exclamation points. Always. I don't know what it is. When I see the period, I'm like, hey, what's wrong? What did I do?
What's going on?
Type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah, when did like, and I'm trying to figure out where that started, because I remember when I was a friend brought it up to me like maybe like 4 years ago, and I had never thought about it. I was actually more confused as to why people were putting exclamation points on sentences that don't require one. I was like, why is everyone doing this? But it's like, oh no, they're just trying to be friendly. So
I couldn't tell you when it started, but it's a huge thing now. Like if I just see periods, I'm like, okay, this is more professional. Not just professional, but like more like, okay, they're straight to the point, not like, hey, I'm just telling you about this, I don't know.
And do you when you're communicating with people, it's like, do you switch up how like the emojis you use or the lack of emojis depending on like who you're talking to, their age, the context of the situation? Like, does that determine how you're communicating?
100%. 100%. I'm never gonna do the middle finger emoji to my mom. I'm never gonna do that. I'm never doing that. So it just depends who I'm talking to.
Who are you doing it to? Who is getting it?
It just depends who you are. The friends, it depends who you are. But yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I don't know. I think like, once you use the same emoji so many times, you kind of just get bored of it and you're like, okay, let me just find another emoji or something like that. And yeah, I mean, you do use certain emojis for certain people, certain conversations. I think that's interesting. And they just keep adding new emojis. Like I think they add new emojis, like every year or something like that. So it's like you have new emojis to use. But yeah, I'm definitely using different ones all the time.
Yeah, like there's a Bigfoot emoji that I'm interested in that came out recently.
That just came out.
Yeah. Very. I'm just trying to figure out. It's like, what designer, like who came up with the idea for that emoji? They're like, oh, we need this, and then they had to convey that to a designer who had to make a microscopic image of a Bigfoot for everyone to send. That I think about that every time the new emojis come out.
And they're getting paid for it. They're getting paid to make them.
They're getting paid. Yes, you said like there's emojis you wouldn't send to your mom, but is it necessarily you would like? Of course, you wouldn't send the middle finger emoji to your mother. And once again, I question when you're sending it to people. What's the context?
It just depends. It just depends. I ain't gonna go into detail, but it just depends.
Like, okay, like the regular emojis. You're not sending certain ones because she wouldn't understand? Like would you send her the skull emoji when you're trying to be funny? Or
yes and no, because it just depends on what age group you are. She's not gonna understand if I just send the skull emoji. I'm just being honest. I don't know if she's on here or not, but I'm just being honest. So like I'll just do like the crying laugh emoji, or just something that relates to her,
Yeah.
But like the people that I know, like I'll always just throw the skull emoji, because they're like, oh, this dude, he's dead. Like he's laughing so hard that he's dead. So it just depends. It just depends who you're talking to.
Okay.
Right. And is it different? Like if I'm sending an emoji, because my mom, she has an Android, I have an iPhone. So it's like, how does it appear on her? That's what I'm wondering. Like, how does it appear on her? Yeah. Doesn't it look way different, or like just less, detailed or whatever?
They have a completely different, they have a completely different set of emojis, and ours transfers to whatever the equivalent is for them. So they have a skull. It probably, looks like an Android skull, which some would say looks worse, but I don't want to take any sides on, Android versus iPhone. But yeah, so they definitely get a different emoji. Or even, is an issue where, like I said earlier, how you're like liking messages that come through iMessage. You're like, oh, heart. Like, because we do that just because, like, okay, I don't necessarily need to respond to the bit you just said, but I'm acknowledging it, right? When they get the message, it comes in as a duplicate second message that says like heart emoji in brackets, the words. And I remember our mom was like, I hate when people send those heart emojis. It doesn't make any sense. And it's just because it's coming in as like a duplicate weird message, opposed to actually just seeing it like hearted on the thing. So Android versus iPhone definitely makes a huge difference. I know people are very triggered by when you have a group chat, back to group chats, and one person is Android and it throws off the entire thing, and everyone else is iPhone and it gets weird.
Yeah.
What time is it? All right. So I think we covered a good amount about like social media communication. I appreciate you guys stepping in to speak with me today while our mom is out of town. Yeah. So
And hey, I'm happy to be here. I'm glad, you guys are my family. So I love all you guys. I appreciate every single one of you. And shoot, I hope I get invited back sometime,
We'll do.
Yeah.
You never know. We always appreciate a guest. You guys have interesting perspectives. You brought up some things I've never thought about. And yeah, thanks for all the viewers, and come back and see us next week with our regular scheduled host. So thank you.
Absolutely. Bless up.